Uzi 1920 here. Welcome you to, and I hate my life. But welcome to another. We're gonna make our way to the garage because we have a new vehicle. We have numerous vehicles that are about to come out, mostly airplanes because this is the new Smugglers of the Gun Runnings DLC. And so far, I'm not too. I'm not too keen on it because I just spent a lot of money on the new hangars and let's just say I'm just going to explain some stuff that just kind of irks me a little bit, but regardless, other than that, that's neither here or there. That's going to be for another video. But right now we're going to be talking about the new vehicle that I've managed to purchase. This is the new Vapid Renew. It's really hard to pronounce, so let's see. It's the Retinue, I think that's what it's called. And this is a wonderful looking car. I mean, you know me. I'm a sucker for classic cars. So let's talk about the United States version of the Ford Escort. We're going to be talking about the European version. Now, Ford they have a European version of their company. So there's Ford America, and then, I just got internet connection quality is not sufficient. Okay, so hopefully this video does not lag. So I'm gonna go into a well-lit area and I'll give you more details. Now before I continue, okay, not this area. Let's not do this one. Nope, 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 nope. Okay, better. This car is, like I said, it's based off the European version of the Ford Escort. Now, I'm hoping it didn't buffer because I'm having loss of internet connection. But Ford has the European version of themselves, and I think their base is in the UK. But they have different vehicles than we have over here in the United States. For starters, they have the Ford Escort. This Ford Escort was introduced in 1968. Now, the Escort name wasn't used until the 1950s as a station wagon version of its predecessor, the Ford Anglia. Now, it wasn't until 1968 when the Escort name was used as a separate model. It featured a basic yet rugged, sturdy design that basically stole the hearts of everyone in Europe. It had a conventional rear-wheel drive system. It came with either a 4-speed manual or a 3-speed automatic transmission, leaf spring suspensions, rack and pinion steering. This was the first small Ford to use the rack and pinion steering, so that was another special thing about the Escort. And basically, it was just a well-known, awesome car. It was just so basic. There wasn't nothing too fancy about it. It had a really dynamic look to it. It wasn't too wild, but it wasn't too basic. It was just the average car that everybody drove. Now, this car didn't become a hit thing until people started, using them in rally crossing. Thus, where we get to where this car is based, where this car made famous for. This car was really highly used in rallying because it was just so basic. It was so simple to make. It was so simple to work on, basically. And these cars kind of dominated the track. Along with the Lancia, Stratus, the Subaru Impreza. These were cars that basically, we used as rally cars. Right around 1974, around the end of this generation Ford Escort, there was a record of 2 million Ford Escorts within the 6-year production run, making this one of the most successful Fords in history. Now, we return over here to this car. This car is just, it's basic. This car, I would say, is not worth buying. Let me give you more details. So we're going to go onto the website where this car is located. This car is valued at a massive $615,000. $615,000. Now, that is such stupid amount of money for this kind of car. I would understand if this car was around $60,000, because that's what I would actually paid for. But for $615,000, Rockstar is just really cheeking up these prices on these freaking new cars on here. It's stupid. But the only thing is, I thinking this is probably the most least expensive car that's going to be on this update. Now, what you pay for is you pay for basically a cool looking classic car. I mean, you can turn this car from something simple to something, you know, really robust, something rugged. And that's what this car and this update is basically supposed to be. You're supposed to smuggle illegal stuff. So, you know, obviously you want to do it in something like this. I mean, this car was featured on the trailer. It was featured on the art that Rockstar put out. I mean, this is a really fun little car. I mean, it's not very fast. The stats say it's not very fast, but this car is just so fun to drive and so quick to chuck around corners. It gives you the feeling that this car is really fast. So, you know, right now it's raining, so it's really difficult to, you know, show that look. But this car is really fun. Now, when you take it to the custom shop, there's not a lot of customizations you can do to it. I mean, when you get it from the website, it's just going to be a basic stock car. But then when you turn it into something like this, it just transforms the whole car. And I'm guessing this is where the selling point of this car comes in. It's little customizations can transform this whole car. Now, I'm going to give you a little stat of this car. I mean, I think this is the first time this car has been ever introduced in this kind of game. So I would say on a scale of 1 to 10 of its styling, I mean, I'm a sucker for classic cars. So I'll always say this car has a great styling of a 10. But, you know, this is not my only opinion. You know, some people will say that this car might be ugly as hell. And I'm not going to deny them. This car does have a touch of ugliness to it. But it's ugly cool to me. So I'm going to give it a modest 6 out of 10. Performance. This car deserves a 6 out of 10. This car is not that fast, but when you customize it and you start hitting those corners really hard, it gives you the feeling that you're actually going way much faster. So the only reason I'm giving it a 6 out of 10 is because of that. Handling, the driving experience of this car is just really top notch for an old car. I mean, on this game. You'd expect a car like this to have some chunky steering, but its steering is quite precise. It's really responsive, so I'd say 8 out of 10. Now, pricing, that's going to be a 1 out of 10. A 1 out of 10, because for $615,000, you can buy a way better car. You can buy a classic car that's way quicker, better looking, possibly have more customizations to it. Now, should you want to do that, hey, that's your choice. In my opinion, I bought this car because I just love the styling of it. So if you're just a person that likes classic cars, hey, go ahead, buy this car. But if you're just someone who just saw this car and thought it was an interesting car and expect something out of it, don't buy it, because you're not going to expect much out of it. It has a really nice customizations to it. You know, these liveries are really awesome, and I really did good on this car. But don't expect to have more in this car. Don't expect it to have more than it seems. So I'll have to, 1 out of 10. This car in general is just fun. It's nothing too it's a little sporty. It's nothing too wild. You can basically outrun a lot of people in this car. It's not that slow, but it's not that fast. So I mean, like I said, it gives you the feeling of being a really quick and fast car. I just got nothing much to say about this car. See, it's a cool little automobile. Would you like to chuck it around? Sure, do that. It's a cool automobile. Now, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do the other cars, because currently I am broke. So chances are I'm not gonna do the supercars. I really like to, but I just don't have the money on here. So I would like to grind on here and do more work so I can afford to do all that. But until this is what a doozy 1929 here, signing off with. I cannot even say the name of this car, but I'm just gonna call it the Folk. I'm just gonna call it Escort. I'll see you guys later.